Everyone dreams of living an uncommon life, and the best asset you have to achieve your dreams is you. Welcome to the Uncommon Wealth Podcast. We're going to introduce you to people who are living uncommonly. We're also going to give you some tools and strategies for building wealth and for pursuing an uncommon path that is uniquely right for you.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Uncommon Wealth Podcast, where I'm your host, Phillip Ramsey. And we are in a series, if you will, or last week I talked about leaving an uncommon legacy. And so today I wanted to talk a little bit more about that and talk about family traditions. And we have some family traditions in our family, and I feel like I've been blessed because of them. And so wanted to talk about that and maybe challenge you to start thinking about the family traditions in your life, or how you can start some family traditions and the benefit of that, and at least in my life. So let's talk about the first thing. And for me, vacations have been such a family tradition. My grandfather took his 4 daughters to this place up in Minnesota when they were very young. And that tradition has continued on, and it still goes today. In fact, next week I get to go on that vacation and hang out with family members, and it's a riot. To me, I feel like that has been an investment, not only in the memories that we get to create there, but also kind of a bigger thing of just family in general and how important that is for our family, core values, and spending time together, because you just never know the memories that are going to be made, good and some bad, when you're at this vacation. And just thinking about traditions, I had to mention that one. We ski, we play volleyball, we play tennis, we play pickleball. We almost need a vacation from the vacation, but that's how we like to vacation. And it took my wife a little while to get accustomed to just the pace and what we go when we're on vacation. We're behind a boat constantly. We're not super big fishermen, at least I'm not. There's some people that are in the family that like to fish. I feel like it's boring. But again, everyone kind of does their own thing, but we get to kind of regroup. We get to hear about people's lives, almost like a family reunion, but we don't look at that. We don't look at that vacation as a family reunion. We get to look at it as like we go hang out with some of our closest friends and hear about their lives and really dive in and really get deep on some things. We have like a little worship service on Sunday morning as a family, which is such a blessing. And we get to think about the uncommon legacy that my grandparents left and are continuing to leave even today. My kids love it. Everybody that goes, I believe, loves it. We jump off bridges, we go out to eat, we eat together, we read. There's just a lot of traditions that we have at that one week. And so every week we go, we always make like a bucket list of things we want to do. And it seems to be the same thing. We go to a movie once, just fun things, but we get to be as a family. And so that's something that I wanted to just at least talk about quickly when we're talking about family traditions. Another family tradition that we've had as a family is New Year's Eve. We go to a restaurant, specific restaurant in Ankeny. It's called Jade Garden. And that tradition has happened. My parents took us there. And even sometimes on New Year's Eve, we see my parents at this restaurant. So it's just fun. But something that we started in our family is we have this little journal that we get to write about the last year's events, the big things, the trips we went on, maybe the big business things that happened. Buying a building, for example, was last year. And now this year we get to say the building is fully renovated. But just little snapshots that we can think about. And the truth is, like, I believe our memories are not as good as we think they are. And so this journal is something that we get to reflect on every year and see how God has been so faithful to us as a family. So each one of our kids has its own section, and we talk about what we want to talk about. We also read last year's and the years before, just to be able to see where we come from, and kind of give us a snapshot of, again, God's faithfulness and just how many things that are going well. Sometimes we even talk about things that aren't going well, broken bones or stitches or braces or whatever it is. But the things that we think are somewhat important that we want to remember from years to come, we write in this journal. And I hope my kids carry on that tradition, but I'm getting a little worried about when that journal runs out, and then we'll have to get another journal. What do we do with that old journal? And anyway, so get a big journal if you're going to do this, because you just never know what it's going to turn into. And my poor wife always has to be the scribe. She's the one who's writing stuff down. And then it's gotten so big that every year after dinner, she has to go back and finish that up for next year. But again, when we sit down with that, we're super excited to read what happened last year. We're thinking through what we want to talk about this year or for the past year. Anyway, it's a fun tradition, one that I wanted to at least throw out there for the listeners of Uncommon Wealth Partners to adopt. Super easy to start. And in fact, here's something fun. Didn't think if I was going to say this until now, but maybe when you get a gift for, the newly married couples, get them a journal and say, hey, this is the specific reason you're going to use this journal. This is how we're asking you to use it, or challenging to use it in this way. But what a cool thing. I wish my wife and I would have had this journal when we first started getting, when we were married, and just seeing how God progressed in our family. That's kind of a fun idea. Again, take it or not. Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk about is just how these vacations or these things that you're doing are an investment. And we've talked about this in the podcast before, but I feel like I'm pretty much just telling myself this, that vacations can be an investment. And the memories that are created as a family inside that investment or inside that vacation are going to be priceless. They're going to be well worth it for years and years to come. Even when things don't go according to plan, the memories that you're going to make are well worth any dollar amount that you invest in this year. So I remember just recently, one of my clients was like, hey, we're really struggling. Do we do this? Do we invest in this? Do we spend the money, is what they said. And my predominant answer is yes. Do it. We'll figure out the finances later. Not in a frivolous way, but like in a way of like, hey, this is important that you spend time, you invest in your family. Never heard of anybody on their deathbed be like, I just wish we didn't go on that one vacation. Unless something tragic happens on the vacation, I guess they probably would say that, but I haven't heard that. So it's always usually really well worth the investment that you take by going on the vacations. Okay, in this kind of uncommon legacy, something that I feel like has been lost and something that I want to include in our family, and I'm not sure how to implement this yet, but is heirlooms. Of what can you give that's important to you that you can give to the next generation or your kids that they're going to cherish and they're going to give to their kids. Heirlooms. We just don't do that much anymore. Now, things are things. They collect dust. They collect moths. I get it. But there is something about, I wish my grandfather, the man that I know, love, respect so much, if he would have had something that I would have gotten, like, oh, I would have been pumped. Now, I did get his boots, but boots are boots. I'm talking like a piece of jewelry, or for me and my family, man, if the Lord blesses, this is what I'd love to do, but Rolex watches. I love the history behind them. I love that they carry value. I love that they appreciate value, and every year, kind of like wine, they get better and better. The stories that are made. If you're into Rolex, you understand. But if you're not, I get it. It seems dumb. But that's what I want to give for each one of my boys, and then whoever marries my daughter, I want to get them a Rolex. And I don't know exactly when I want to give them the Rolex. It wouldn't be at their wedding, but maybe like when a big significant thing happens in their life. I would love to gift them an heirloom of like, hey, this is mine to yours, and I want you to carry on this legacy for generations upon generations, because I want this to be a snapshot of an uncommon legacy that our family is carrying and creating. So, okay, there's some things talking, kind of capping this kind of uncommon legacy series to the end, bookmarking this of just traditions that your families have that are important to you. And if you don't have any, which I know you do, start creating them. Like, it's the time. You are the person, if you're listening, you have the authority and control to be able to start these traditions. And I hope they're amazing. I'd love to hear about them. So you've been listening to Uncommon Wealth Podcast. Again, I've been your host, Phillip Ramsey, and start building family traditions right now and being intentional with that. And I'm confident that you are going to be very thankful that you did. Till next time, go be a pioneer. Thank you.
That's all for this episode, brought to you by Uncommon Wealth Partners. Be sure to visit uncommonwealth.com to learn more about our services. Don't miss an episode as we introduce you to inspiring people who are actively pursuing an uncommon life.